But I'll be on it always, always and ever.
Hey queens, welcome back to my queen cave. My name is Shelby, queen of the queen cave. Thank you so much for jumping into today's video. This is going to be the season finale of 90 Day the Single Life, season 5, episode 14, the act of making it official. So we start off with Sophie. She is meeting with Liz and Julia at her hotel room, and she's complaining that Pedro hasn't texted her back after the last blow up conversation they had, which I don't know what she's expecting. Like, she does this whole episode. She complains that Pedro's not responding to any of her messages. She's trying to act all confused as to why, and I'm just like, girl, it's cut and dry. Like, you know exactly what happened. I don't know why you're confused, why Pedro refuses to respond to your messages. But anyway, they are going to a phone party at the hotel for their last day or night there, so they're closing out their trip with that. And she hopes that Pedro will come because Liz says that Via's coming. And speaking of Liz and Via, she gives us a rundown of how she's feeling with Via and the last conversation they had with her having someone back at home and how she's conflicted between the two of them. She just wants to kind of go with the flow and see what will happen, but right now she doesn't know what route she wants to go in. Once they get to the pool party, they see that Pedro in fact did not show up, and Sophie has the audacity to say, "This is not how you act if you wanted to be with me." And I'm like, what? Like, did anyone notice this episode? She does kind of like a full 180. Like, now she's open to the idea of them being in a relationship at some point, in terms of them continuing on to build with their entanglement, quote. But before, it's like she was completely against it. She didn't want to have any conversations of being in a relationship because she wanted to focus on being single so bad. But now that she sees that Pedro wants nothing to do with her, now she wants to spin the block and consider and being open to being in a relationship. And I'm like, I don't understand what's going on here. Like, girl, you cannot have your cake and eat it too. And that's what it seems like to me. She wants to be single and do whatever she wants while also having Pedro wait on the side for her. Like, that's not how it works, and that's not fair to Pedro. But when Via does get to the party, he gets in the pool, he's like beating around the bush trying to tell Sophie, like, yeah, Pedro's not coming, and he's still really pissed off that you kissed Brian on that date. And she, once again, is acting all confused and upset, and I don't know why he's acting like this. I don't know why he's not responding. It's like, Sophie, we're tired. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm tired of hearing you complain and say the same things over and over and over again when everything happened right in your face. You knew exactly what was going to happen. I feel like you should have already known what was going to happen if you went on that date with Brian, told Pedro about it, and told him you kissed him already. It's like, why would he not feel some type of way? And on top of that, I feel like there must be some like missing information with this whole like Sophie and Pedro thing, because for Pedro to come on the trip, for one, I thought Pedro lived here. So like when everyone's packing up their stuff to leave, I'm like, oh, so you don't live here, Pedro and Via? Like, I thought they were already here. But to know that they all met up in the DR and that was like a plan for them to meet up, also being on the show. But I'm just saying, for them to be continuing on building whatever they had built off camera, I'm wondering what was said in the text messages and on the phone calls for Pedro to come here with that type of energy in the first place. I just feel like we have to think about the other side of it. It's like, what was said to Pedro to make him feel like him coming here with this type of energy would be something that you would reciprocate or receive well, The next scene we have is with Courtney, Colt, and Philip. And I don't know who the fuck approved this shot we get of Colt outside in his motherfucking Speedo. It's disgusting. Yuck!
Oh my gosh, what is that?
Oh, he's just like laying up there. Oh my God.
I'm like, who's approving this? Whose idea was it that we had to see Colt in his underwear, basically? Like, it was like disgusting. But anyway, Courtney and Phil call Colt over to have the "it's time to get the fuck out" talk. And Colt immediately seems annoyed and uncomfortable off rip. When I'm like, I don't know why you weren't expecting this to come at some point. Now that your leg is better and you can walk on your own, yeah, it's time to get the fuck out. And they're telling him, like, you need to have your plans, set in motion so we can kind of get the ball rolling of you getting out. And Colt has the audacity to kind of like be surprised that they're like telling him, you know, we've kind of been waiting for you to get healed up so you can go. And it's almost as if he expected to be there like long term. It seems like he was real caught off guard when they told him, you know, like, you're out of the wheelchair, you can walk around now, like, you need to start getting your plans together to get out. I don't know why you wouldn't already feel like a burden as fuck in their space anyway, and you'd want to get out, but it was confusing to me why he was so confused. I'm like, so you really thought you were gonna be leeching and mooching off of them for what, months, up to a year, huh? And then Courtney tells Colt, you know, once you do get out of respect for my relationship, I'm gonna have to cut all ties with you. No more contact, no nothing. And again, Cole has the audacity to be surprised and upset. And now he's like throwing this pity party for himself in the confessional. I'm like, are you serious? Why would she continue on any further communication with you? You're not supposed to be here any fucking way. You're lucky you're here at all. So in his confessional, he goes, I'm just so sad that I won't have Courtney in my life anymore. You know, like, she's my whole life. Since when? Since when you were over there cheating on her with Diana, you didn't act like she was your whole life at any point here. Hello? And then in the very next sentence, he says, you know, I'm just gonna go back to Brazil maybe and see if I can figure things out with Diana. I'm like, wow, Colt is a piece of work. I don't have anything else respectful to say about Colt at this point, because it's just like, you cannot make this shit up. But Phil had to be so weak in this scene because he was so happy. He was grinning hard as fuck when Courtney told him, like, it's time for you to get out. He was like, mission accomplished. Next scene is over with Vanya. She is still with Tony and Tony's parents, and she just goes into detail about her rough upbringing and why that contributes to her being so against religion. And she does respectfully decline Tony's mom's invitation to go to church. But overall, Tony's parents are really non-judgmental, which I really loved. They didn't make her feel uncomfortable. They say that they like her as a person. She seems nice and kind, and they can tell that she really loves Tony. But at this point, they're just praying for God's will to be done in the situation. If it's meant to be with Vanya, great. If not, they pray that Tony does find someone that he's more, I would say, more equally yoked with, you know, in a spiritual sense. But overall, they seem to like her. Once Tony's parents leave, Tony has this surprise for Vanya, and he makes it all extra and over the top. And honestly, I feel like more playing with her emotions, because why would you be having this key in this heart box that looks like a ring box? Can anyone explain? Like, this reminds me of the Real Housewives of Potomac. If you know, you know, when Greg gave Kiana that fucking picture frame and she thought it was a ring. She thought it was gonna be a ring. It reminds me of that. If you watch Real Housewives of Potomac, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I don't know why he did all this. It's like, if you're gonna give her the key, just give it to her. But you kind of like getting her hopes up that it was going to be a ring, I thought was whack. But on top of that, I don't understand why he is trying to have her move in. It's like the relationship has not gone on that long. Like, later on in the episode, we find out they've only been together for 6 months. So it's like, why are you trying to have her move in? I don't understand. And she was over here upset. She was upset because it wasn't a ring. I feel like I just don't have anything to explain. Why are we like rushing through everything? And why are we skipping past red flags that you yourself already identified and picked out with Tony? Why are you trying to get married so bad? It's like, at this point with Vanya, she doesn't care who she's married to. She just wants to be married. And I hate that for her. Next scene we get over is with Kim. Her and Jamal are meeting up with Wayne and his daughters to play Skittle. It's like bowling with a wooden ball and pins, and everyone has a good time. After they get done with that, they sit down to chat. Wayne's daughters just want to make sure Wayne and Kim are not rushing through their relationship, and Kim straight up lies and says like she does not usually go quickly in her relationships, and Jamal straight up throws her under the bus and is looking at her like, I don't know. And I was just like, what are you doing, Jamal? Like, why are you trying to throw her under the bus and honestly embarrass her? Like, I did not like that. That's your own mom. If anything, you'd want to like make her the most comfortable, already knowing she's on edge, knowing that she had to tell Wayne about her adoption story. you are just adding on to it by like calling her out as lying in this moment. I did not like that. I don't know if anyone else kind of was like rubbed the wrong way with that, but I was confused why he was doing that to Kim. Like, that was not cool. But Kim is nervous all throughout the night, especially when Wayne's daughters start mentioning the aspect of it being realistic that everyone is going to come with the past, or they're going to come with baggage. And once they mention that Wayne doesn't necessarily like women that have a lot of baggage, that has Kim even more on edge and nervous, thinking that Wayne is going to judge her and not accept her after she tells him this whole thing with the adoption. We do finally get that later on in the episode, so we will revisit this then. Next, we get a quick scene over with Gino, and his scene had me so weak. He was like, did I wake up in Oz? And I'm like, exactly, what the fuck is this? He goes into this like crystal voodoo shop, and it's supposed to be his lawyer's office. I don't know where being a lawyer and this ties into anything by any means, but the lawyer does come out from the back, and he explains, he just wanted his office or the environment to be as peaceful as possible, knowing how stressful divorces and the whole process of law can be. So that's his, I guess, intention on having the shop like this. I don't know, I thought it was weird. But anyway, Gino goes to sit down, and he finally wants to take the steps of divorcing Jasmine. Why did it take so long? We will never know the answer to that. I don't know why he's been waiting around. It's like, you've been talking all this shit about Jasmine. I thought you would have been pronto on the filings, and here you are. What? How old is the baby now? The baby's like been here, and Jasmine left to go be with Matt or move to wherever Matt is. Like, that's been a while now that this whole thing has been happening. Why have you not been making any moves to make sure you can cut ties with her, Gino? Huh? Yeah, I don't think he can answer that question. But anyway, we find out through this process, which kind of blew my mind, because they're still married, Gino and Jasmine are still married, and she had a baby out of wedlock. Gino is legally the father of the child, which, how does that make any sense? That makes zero sense to me. And on top of that, because he is legally the father of the child, he is responsible for child support of a child that's not even his, that he does not have any contact with, and probably has never even met. That is crazy. And on top of that, even more, plus, if Jasmine incurs any debt, he will be responsible for half of it. That is bullshit. That would have me hot. I don't know why these things weren't considered at all. Like, any sort of like consequences for anything to do with Gino's involvement of Jasmine and the whole baby and Matt. Like, I don't know why he wouldn't have thought about this the second he found out that Jasmine was pregnant. But I guess I digress. This is going to be a very long, painful, slow process for you, Gino, so I hope you are strapped in and you get ready. Next, we're back with Sophie and Pedro, and Sophie, again, is going on and on about how upset she is that Pedro is not responding to her. He's not coming to the party. Why is he being like this? He can just get over it, blah, blah, blah. And so, not Sophie, Julia, pause, side note. I understand Julia has good intentions, right? She's one of those friends that she just wants everyone to get along and to work out their problems. I get it. She's the kumbaya Switzerland friend. I get it. But I feel like a few times during this trip, she's been doing a little too much inserting herself. Because in this situation right here, when she's over here trying to grab Sophie's phone and do extra, Sophie knows she's probably going to text Pedro or call him. She does not want to do that. So she's like, no, Julia, don't do that. And Julia's like, I'm just going to look. And of course, right when she grabs it, she FaceTimes in. It's like, dude, that is not even funny. We're not in a good place right now to be calling him and playing around and making jokes and whatnot and forcing myself to talk to him or forcing him to talk to me. Let me handle it. Like, I did not like how she did that. That irritated me. Like, girl, please stay out of it. Let me tell you what's going on, but please don't insert yourself into this whole situation and start forcing certain things to happen. That just kind of irritated me a little bit. But anyway, back with Pedro, he's actually packing his shit up. He's ready to leave now. He changed his flight from the next day to that current day so he can get out immediately. He is so heartbroken and pissed off at Sophie. He says that she used him like a paper towel, wiped her ass with it, and threw it away. I was like, damn. Okay. And once he leaves, like, he starts saying things that I didn't think he needed to say. Like, he was like, no one else will treat you like I did, and you won't find no one else that will, like, I guess will treat you as good as I did. And I'm like, well, we can pause right there, Pedro, because now I feel like you're doing a little bit too much. Like, you can be upset all day, but let's not go the route of I'm the best you're ever gonna get, because now we're just taking things a little bit overboard. Now we have a quick scene over with Kim. Wayne is coming to pick Kim up to take her to his flat for a dinner date. He's making jerk chicken and rice. And once they walk into his flat, he has this like sketch drawing of Kim and Jamal, and it was from a picture that Kim sent to Wayne. And she's like weirded out by it. She's confused. She's like, oh, where'd you get this from? Like, is this gonna be staying here with you? And Wayne's like, no, like, I had my friend's daughter sketch this for you. Like, this is a gift. And I thought it was a cute, thoughtful gift. I don't know, like, she thought it was weird, and she kind of seemed like a little uncomfortable by it, but I thought it was a cute gift. But anyway, after Wayne gets done doing some cooking, they go to sit on the couch. And this is where Kim tries to ask Wayne, like, you know, like, what are we? What are we question? She wants to have a label on it, but Wayne tells her, you know, Savannah, slow down. I'm not trying to rush into anything. You know, I've been single and by myself for a while. I've been enjoying that. I just want to go with the flow and just see where things go. I'm not trying to rush into anything. And Kim kind of seems like disappointed by that. Again, this is their, first time meeting in person? Why would you expect for you guys to walk away from this very short trip already being in a relationship? What is it about these people that feel the need to rush through everything in the relationship? They rush past all the things that they end up breaking up with that person over later, you know? So it's like, I thought we were going to be applying some of the lessons you've learned from before, Kim. Yeah, so I'm glad that Wayne at least has that common sense to like pump the brakes on that and let her know, like, we're in a good place. I enjoy your company and all that, but I'm not ready to have things be official, which he says that now, but by the end of the trip, they somehow end up being officially together. So she does get what she wants. Good for her. But in this moment, he's like, yeah, no, we're not doing that for right now. And this leads them into the conversation of Kim finally telling him about the whole adoption thing. And she's upset, she's crying, she's telling him, you know, don't judge me. And then we kind of get like a cliffhanger. So we will revisit this later on in a couple scenes. Next we get a quick scene over with Gino. And wow, he got himself another sucker. But he's on the way to this date with this girl that he met online, and he brings his pheromone spray because he thinks that's going to, quote, attract the ladies. Okay, anyway, so we meet the girl that he is with. Her name is Lexi. She is half his age, a single mom to a 4-year-old daughter, and I'm, again, confused. What about Gino gives any appeal to you, girlfriend? So please tell me this is just a sugar daddy type of thing, because I'm not seeing where there's any chemistry between the two of you. You know, like, she does a lot of like giggling and snorting and sniggling at all of his jokes as if he's funny. But I'm not understanding what is bringing her over here. Like, maybe she sees Gino and she sees stability since she is a single mom and he's older and has no kids and he has his funds together. I'm thinking that's the only motivation for her to be with him, because otherwise, what's going on here? Because at the end of the date, when it's time to go, Gino kind of like goes in for a kiss, and it's awkward as fuck. And you can tell she was not expecting it, for one, and two, she did not like it because he was trying to go in for some more, and she was dodging him and trying to laugh it off. And I'm like, nah. See, this right here lets me know something ain't right. Something not adding up, because there's like zero chemistry. There was a lot more chemistry between him and Natalie. Like, I know this is the first time they've met, and I don't think that Gino should have gone in for a kiss unless it felt like she, felt the same way and wanted to kiss him just as bad. I don't feel like she wanted to kiss him at all. I feel like she was trying to get a feel for him, laugh at his corny ass jokes, X, Y, and Z, but the kiss part was not part of the deal. That's what it seemed like to me. But he seems to feel like the date went so well and he got a kiss. He's so happy about the kiss. I'm like, that was not a kiss to be celebrating, honestly. It seems like you kind of went in there and took your opportunity whenever you got a long enough gaze at her to go in for a kiss, I guess. But I wouldn't say that was a mutual kiss where you guys both wanted it and it felt so good, But anyway, I guess we're going to have to see possibly next season, if Gino is still on the next season and they're still together, if they have a relationship that makes any sense. But that's all for now on Gino at this point. Next, we get a quick scene over with Liz and Via, and long story short, she breaks up with him officially because she's worried about the long distance. She's also worried about her sickness and how that could take her away from the relationship. She is thinking about the fact that they both live on opposite sides of the country, they both have kids, and she really wants someone by her side that she can be with every single day to support her and just be easier to have access to. So I understood why she did that. Via looked like he was really upset, disappointed, and it seemed like he was kind of like caught off guard that she was ending things altogether. It seemed like they were going to at least try to make things work, but she made the decision before they even left. She does not want to do this with him, knowing all of those factors come into play. She's hoping that she does not regret her decision once she gets back home, but from what we can see in the tell-all, she's engaged, so it's possible they got back together, hopefully. I hope they got back together and they work something out because I like Liz with Via. I feel like they vibe off together well. He seems to really respect her and really like hanging around her. So hopefully they were able to work something out. But in this scene, she's breaking up with him and things are looking bleak. Next, so real quick, back with Kim, we pick up where we left off with the conversation of the adoption. And when she mentions the word baggage, Wayne stops her immediately and he's like, I wouldn't use the word baggage. I would just use the word that everyone has a past, and he's not judging her for it at all, which has Kim getting this big sigh of relief. She can finally lift that weight off her shoulders because Wayne is understanding. He's not judging her, looking at her sideways, and he says he does not feel any different towards her, which is so good to hear. So that conversation finally can be over and done with. We can move on and Kim can finally be in a more relaxed state when she's with Wayne and not just overthinking all the time. So I'm glad that ended up working out for her. Next, finishing things off with Sophie in this next scene. Again, she's still whining and complaining and crying that Pedro ghosted her. And then in the next sentence, she's like, I'll just keep being single. That's what I want to do anyway. You literally could not make this shit up. She says she's just going to keep being single. That's what she wants to do anyway. If that's the case, why the fuck do you care if Pedro is on your line or not? Why do you care what he's doing? Why do you care if he's responding or not? You should be out there in the wild, girlfriend, living it up. Why are you worried about Pedro? That just goes back to me saying you want to have your cake and eat it too. You want to be single and do your little thing and still have Pedro on your phone and up your ass. Like, that does not make any sense. She then blames him for all of his love bombing and him not listening to her, not wanting to be in a relationship. And then in the next sentence, she says that she probably should not have come to the DR and she probably led him on by coming, essentially. And if she could do things over again, she probably wouldn't have gone. And I'm like, does that not have further validity to my theory that you were entertaining Pedro's, from what I can assume, his love bombing in the text messages? Like, I just feel like you don't just come out of nowhere and do the love bombing. That usually happens in the beginning. I feel like he was already showing the signs of this while you guys were texting before you guys even got here. You entertained it, and then when you guys got in person, it just became too much for you, and now you're in too deep. So it's just like, I feel like that makes sense, does it not? So for her to know all that and then still be confused why Pedro is so upset is beyond me. But anyway, next, back to what I was saying about Julia inserting herself and being annoying as fuck in this scene. So Sophie and Julia are waiting for the car to come pick them up to go to the airport. They're waiting on Liz. Liz and Via finally come up, and the vibe is obviously like doom and gloom and sad. Like clearly something happened. They're not happy. They're not anything. And I would think she could have just waited until they got in the car for Liz to tell them what was going on, but she essentially had them tell her and Sophie that they broke up, they're not going to be together, and they're going their separate ways. Like you can tell Via was uncomfortable. He didn't want Liz to say anything. You could tell like he was just like, this is just awkward. And I didn't understand why Julia felt the need to kind of push for an answer. It's like, girl, read the room. Clearly they're not in the mood to talk about it. Clearly something happened where they're both coming over here sad and melancholy as fuck. So why are you asking them to explain what's going on? Like, you can't wait until Liz is in the car. You guys can have girl talk. Hello. Next, we get over to Courtney. Her and Phil go out to a dinner date to celebrate their 3-month anniversary. They're so happy Colt finally was kicked to the curb. It was on the block list. And once they sit down, Courtney, for some fucking reason nobody asked, goes into some kind of detail about her and Phil's sex life and how it's so much better than her and Colt, and how Phil gets easily aroused and he has all this energy, doesn't need any pills. And I'm like, yuck! We don't need to hear any of the details. Why are you telling us this? But she tells him like she didn't realize how old he was until she looked at his ID. Like, Courtney, it's obvious. It's obvious he's up there in age. Like, please don't play dumb. But anyway, Phil now takes it upon himself to say that they are ready. After them being in a relationship for 3 months, yeah, they're not ready for marriage. And he gets down and proposes to her in this Hawaiian floral shirt, and she's not even like engagement ready. I'm like, was this even thought through? Like, this was the thought you put into the engagement? Like, just whip out the ring at this random restaurant, no thought, no energy, no nothing put into it, and you accepted that, Courtney? Huh? Yeah, I feel like this just solidifies how desperate she is, and I, once again, hate that for her. I hate that she felt the need to go this route, honestly, because it was an easier route for her. She felt like this person wasn't gonna cheat on her, was gonna spoil her up and down because he's too old to be doing all that, if we're gonna be real. But I guess on the other hand, good for her and congratulations that she got engaged and whatnot. I hope it works out, but now that I think about it, it doesn't work out, because we find out in this sneak peek for the tell-all, Colt somehow got in between the relationship and they're no longer together. And I'm like, once again, confused. Courtney, what the fuck? You had the man of your dream, the man that treats you right, the man that loves you up and down and all around, X, Y, and Z, accepts you for who you are. You allowed Colt to get in the way of that? Like, I'm speechless. I have nothing to say because it's all over the place. It's a mess. But Courtney wants to get married immediately. She wants to waste no time. I don't know what the rush is. Can someone please explain? Because this has to be studied. What is the rush? Why are you trying to get married now? Courtney, you need to slow the fuck down. Like, I understand you've had issues with dating. I understand you're getting a little bit older. You might want to have kids, X, Y, and Z, so you feel like a clock is ticking. But I feel like rushing into a marriage is probably like the most reckless and dumbest things you can do. This is a long-term commitment. This is something that you have to be locked into, because even trying to get a divorce is going to be a long, drawn-out process. Ask Gino. He's going to know all about it soon. Next, we get over to Vanya. Her and Tony are actually going to view a house that Tony picked out. He changed his mind last minute. He no longer wants her to move into his house. He wants them both to leave their houses and buy a house together and move in together. His explanation is he doesn't want to have to commute to go see her. He wants to be able to see her whenever he wants, every day, all the time, be around her all the time, X, Y, and Z. My opinion is this is a shut up about the engagement ring. Here's a house. I'm showing you some sort of a commitment by moving in with you, but not sealing the deal enough to marry you. That's what it gave to me. That's what it gave to Vanya, because she calls it out. And I'm like, girl, I'm glad you can see this, because it makes no sense for you to move in together prior to getting married, getting engaged. Like, it makes no sense. And as the point that she makes, that I understand and it makes sense to me, she's like, if we move in before we get engaged, you're going to get complacent, and us getting engaged now is going to be up in the air, and it probably will never happen because you're going to think in your mind you're doing enough by us living together, and that's absolutely a no-go. She does not want a fucking roommate. She wants a partner, Tony. Hello? So I understand where Vanya's coming from, and I understand her refusing to go along with this plan because she knows it's not going to end up the way that she wants to. She's going to be waiting forever for Tony to actually like commit to her. So he's acting like, you know, she's tripping, like she's overreacting. And again, I don't know what you're expecting for her to think. Like, you know how much she wants to get married. You know how much she's been forcing this relationship. Why would you think she would accept this offer? Like, Tony, please get it together. And Vanya at the end of this is contemplating like breaking up with him because she's like, I can already see this is not going to work out. This is not going to end the way that I want to. And I don't want to waste any more time. So she might be done with Tony. And I feel like that would be a great idea. Next, we end this episode off with Kim. She's packing up to leave and Wayne is coming to her hotel room to say goodbye. They start chatting a little and he acknowledges he should have been more comforting and affectionate to her when she was getting emotional, telling him about the whole adoption situation. And then he makes up for it by giving her some cuddles and some kisses. I thought it was so freaking cute. But at the end of it, they establish that they are officially in a relationship, which has Kim over the moon, of course, and they do a lot of smooching, a lot of hugging. It was so sweet. I'm really glad they ended off this episode with Kim and Wayne because it just gave me like this feel-good feeling. It like brought a little like tears to my eyes a little bit because I'm like, I'm so glad and happy to see Kim happy, like genuinely with someone that makes her feel loved and special and beautiful and just the only girl in the world for him at this point. So I am excited to see where things are growing with their relationship, and I hope they're still together now. But that's the end of this episode. We get a sneak peek of the tell-all, and things are gonna be looking so juicy and so good. I cannot wait for Jamal to put, hopefully, belt to ass for Colt, because it seems like some rah-rah was going on. And I can't wait to get some lowdown on this whole Colt, Courtney, and Phil situation. Things are gonna get real juicy and real good. But how did you guys feel about this episode? Let me know how you felt about Courtney and Phil getting married or getting engaged so quickly in the comments down below. But if you did like this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!